All right, welcome back to BM Talks to them. So today we have another mini reunion. This time we have the people from episode 54. Welcome everyone. How are you all feeling?
Great.
Feeling good.
Okay, that's
Excellent,
good.
excellent.
That's good. That's good. So today I want to get straight into it, right? I want to get straight into it. The topic that we're going to speak about today is group chats, right? We're going to speak about more, but I want to start off with this group chat thing. The first question I want to ask you guys is who created this group chat?
I did.
Okay, can you explain what happened at the beginning? Why did you create the group chat? And where is it right now?
I don't know. I don't know where it's at. Once things start transpiring, I just alleviated the whole damn thing. So I don't know where it's at.
Okay. So who's in this group chat? Who was in this group chat, should I say?
I'm still in the group chat.
Yeah, I'm still in the group chat.
Am I in there?
I don't know
Yo,
for
you took
sure.
yourself out of there. Cut it out, man. Cut it out.
but I forgot the guy's name. What's the other guy name? Because we came up with it together.
Yeah, you kicked me out the group chat.
From
I
Dallas. You
kicked
talking about
myself
buddy
out
from
the group
Dallas. You
chat.
talking about buddy from Dallas, I think.
Yeah, we came up with it. Me and him was talking. Matter of fact, I take it back to a couple of days before. After we left the show, we all went out for drinks and we started building a camaraderie. Everybody didn't go, but for the ones that was there, everybody started talking and stuff, got some drinks, chopped it up and everything. And we all exchanged, for the most part, we was exchanging each other's Instagrams and stuff like that. And then me and the other guy, he had hit me up. We was going back and forth like let's create one. And then we just started trying to put the people in there. I was asking the guys like from the beginning before when we first did it, I was like, let's add everybody, and nobody never said anything. Like it was plenty of days I was like, let's add the girls, let's add the girls, let's add the girls, and nobody said nothing. And so do you want me to keep going or you want me to just stop right there? You have a question before that.
No, keep going. You can keep going.
So I had to talk with when me and Shay had that moment. Me and her start talking. And I'm like, even though it's against odds, we still share this moment together. So we started down building a friendship, and I asked her what she thought about it, and she was like, "I think it's a good idea." Now it was two ways it was going to go because I didn't have the females' Instagrams or whatever. So it was like create a new one or just add them to this one. And I didn't know the basis of it because I never did a group chat. I never even done a group chat on the iPhone. So I just added them in and I was at work. So I added the people in and I was at work and then my phone just started down going off. And then I looked for a second. I said, oh my God. And then but my intentions wasn't to start nothing.
Okay. All right. So
Even though it was a bad idea. It was on my part, stupid idea. I could wear the brunt of that one.
so what was said in that group chat that caused a lot of mess?
The females might could quote it better than the guys can.
I
I
wasn't
think,
in the chat.
go ahead. I was going to say, I didn't create the group chat, but who you say you connected with? The rules you said you connected with Shay? Who's Shay? You said you connected with Shay?
The one that me and her had the moment. The legs don't match the derriere, the
Oh, okay,
teeth
okay,
don't
okay,
match
okay,
the
okay,
teeth.
okay. No,
Yeah,
so I think for me, as far as like what happened with my match, I responded to a message on there that I think when guys were talking about BBLs, I wasn't even putting it to because there was so much stuff happening during the recording. I wasn't even putting it together. Like I'm sure I know she said it like she had a BBL, but I was looking past. She had such a bright personality. I was enjoying her humor. I wasn't even thinking about BBLs when they were talking about this in a group chat. So then when they said like the scars on the knees or whatever, that was something I told her I hadn't even paid attention to from even when she came out there. So it wasn't something that I was even, you know what I'm saying? Like, so when it came back to like I was the one who texted, that's where it threw me off because I never,
Because you were.
when I talked to her about it and I messaged her person, I was never one who said that. And I think the gentleman here who started the group chat and then hid later can tell you he's the one who probably wrote that. It had to be from somebody else because I never wrote that about you.
I never hid the group chat.
I
No, I'm saying, you
screenshotted
know, if you're,
you writing it. That's how I knew it was
no,
you who said it.
I replied, you can show that screenshot. I never wrote that. I replied to
You
that
said
when somebody, whoever was in our group chat, they said that the girl one with his scar and the knees on
Okay,
the scars,
okay.
whatever it was.
So Derek, so when you write
Yeah,
something in the group chat, your picture shows.
correct.
Savina, does his picture show that it was him that wrote that?
yes. Yes.
Derek,
That's why I was
You
initially
have to show that.
upset
I didn't.
because I was referred to
I wouldn't have
as
wrote that.
my girl was the girl with the BBL and the cosmetic. I mean the scars on the knees and the cosmetic surgery. And I felt like I have a name. My name is Savina. You know my name. So why refer to me and address me as the girl with the scars on the knees and
That's what I'm
the
trying to tell
cosmetic
you,
surgery?
Savannah. There has to be some type of because the guys can tell you before you were let in, because like you said, you wasn't originally in the group chat. The guys that were originally in, they're the one who said, "Oh, the one you mentioned." He said the one with the scar with the knees. And the guy, then Jody said, "Oh, I had the one with the better BBL." I never mentioned. I don't talk about women like that. It's not my character.
Derek,
That's not the.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
saw the message. I saw it.
And I said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then there had to be a follow
No,
up. There
a
had to be a
lie ain't nothing
follow
to
up. No, that's
tell.
fine. No, that's fine. That had to be a follow up of what someone else said. That didn't. That's not how it started.
Derek,
Whether
this
it
is the
was
thing, right? This is the thing, Derek, right? If
okay.
you if you get caught, you need to take it as it is.
No,
If
and
you
I don't have
said
no problem with that.
okay,
I think
then
again.
that's what I'm saying. I saw the message.
All
And to
right.
be
So if I
honest,
wrote that in the message,
there was a bunch of messages, right,
yeah.
in that group chat that I saw from a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there sitting to myself thinking, you guys are the more mature age group, right? The younger generation are looking up to you. You lot should be setting examples for them because they're looking up
Correct.
to you guys saying, okay, we need to follow them. Why are you guys doing the things that people in their 20s or even younger? We're not in high school. When high school people make group chats, it's all laughs, it's all banter.
All right.
Here, you lot make group chats, feelings are involved. People are getting upset, people are hurt. The group chats that you make at this age, it hurts people. People's feelings get hurt. Because why? You guys have responsibilities. High schoolers, when they do this group chat, they don't have responsibilities. You guys are paying rent, you guys are paying your mortgage, you guys have kids. So if you say something about somebody, it's gonna hurt them. It's not funny. So what I'm saying now is, right, as an adult, you need to know how to carry yourself, right? You need to know what is appropriate. You need to know what to say about people that doesn't offend them in certain ways, right? Because when I saw that group chat, and I'm gonna tell you now, that group chat, no good. I saw some of the screenshots, and I think to myself, like, come on, guys, this is ridiculous. As the people that's meant to be setting examples to the young generation, it doesn't make any sense. The people that are in their 20s should be in their 20s. People that are in their 30s should be know your level. If you're in your 40s, you should know that your level is there. The ones at the bottom, are the ones that's meant to be looking up to you guys. Why is it that there's people in their 40s acting worse than people in their 20s? You guys are planning to come on Pop the Balloon, you book your flight, you fly over to the show to join a group chat. This is not Pop the Balloon and join group chats.
Can I follow up with something? You know, because again, this wasn't me. I literally we had another group chat on the phone. So this is where it was. They made that comment of her with the scars and knees. So when we were in a private group chat to decide, I said, "This is the girl you guys mentioned. This is how they were describing her." I said, "She's the one with the scar and the knees." So if I reposted that, that wasn't originally me saying from when the character I displayed in front of Savina. I don't need to talk about women. But in a man's group chat, I was telling him, this is the girl you guys said, the one with the scar with the knee. So I might have reposted, I might have said that. That's fine. I'll take accountability for that. But that's not how I would describe Savina.
Are you
You know,
so? Are you apologizing for what you said?
yes, I'm apologizing. Like I said, I have a nonprofit walk with character. My whole thing is about character. So I tried to tell Savina and I wanted to come up here and clear things up. In
Okay.
my last life as an athlete, I didn't date black women, unfortunately. So
Okay. All right. Let me get
come
on
in.
to that as well. Okay.
All right,
All
my
right.
fault.
So
Yeah,
I want to actually say I want to talk about this black women this because you said a lot of stuff about black women this, black
I
women
did.
that,
I did.
right?
I'm learning. Correct.
Um. So I want to ask you, Derek, what
Hmm.
does race have to do with a woman's safety?
It it didn't. It came with culturally. I was talking to a friend of mine who I don't put her personal business out there. We were talking about this subject, and I wanted to take race off the table. It wasn't about race. It was more so a lifestyle. You know what I mean? A lifestyle that I was accustomed to living my whole life, which I'm coming from. I wasn't used to. If I was interested, me and a woman shared the similar interest, and we were interested in each other. In my last life as a basketball player, if I said I was getting a flight, I never had a woman tell me she was uncomfortable or she was worried about her safety.
Okay,
You know,
Derek. Let me say one thing, right?
mhm.
It doesn't matter what race you are. A lot
I
of
said it wasn't
women,
about race. Yeah, I didn't make it.
a lot of
I made the
women,
mistake about making it race.
yeah, a lot of women in that position would feel unsafe. Number one, you're booking a very late night flight. Number
She
two,
told me to pick up evening flight.
bro, sometimes just listen to what's going on. You know,
Okay.
you're jumping in a lot. You know. Number two, you booked an Airbnb instead of a hotel, right?
Okay.
You know,
Right.
hotels, there's cameras, someone in reception. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in hotels that may make people feel safe. Airbnb, some Airbnbs don't have that. Number three,
Anybody that lives, not to cut you off.
Derek,
Go
you're
ahead. Go
cutting me
ahead.
off.
All right.
Number
Go ahead.
three, right?
Hmm.
Number three, you booked the flight under somebody else's name, or somebody booked the flight under
Okay.
somebody else's name. Those are three
Okay.
very valid reasons to why a woman should feel unsafe. I have sisters. If any
Okay.
of my sisters told me that, I will have questions. Do you understand?
Okay. All right.
That's what it is. So sometimes when you're talking to women, you need
Okay.
to know how to listen to them. Because sometimes you might think, oh, I have all these stuff in my head. I wanna lay it out, this, and that. But she said this, she said that. But you wasn't listening to what she was saying. She was saying that the points that she's bringing up is not looking like, it's a straight line. It's looking a bit like what's going on. So you could have literally just spoke about it and reassured her that it wasn't going to be like that. But if you're jumping all the time, going back and forward with her, she's not
Respectfully,
gonna she's not
respectfully,
gonna feel 100%.
respectfully, and I say this with all respect, you wasn't on one conversation, one phone call with us, any conversations me and Savina had. But if right here, and I'll have Simon, if I'm lying, he can attest to this. When you live in New Jersey and New York, even though the states are right very close to each other, as I was trying to host her, and she was only going to be here for a weekend. It was Memorial Day weekend. It was a holiday weekend. I was trying to show her the best time in a sense of that commute to JFK from, like, he knows from Newark. He works at Newark Airport. From Newark to JFK is a hike. I live in the suburbs. I probably live another 40 minutes from Newark Airport. So I was trying to tell Savina was, when I'm booking a trip, I originally had you in New York, but the hotel that she was staying in had a city view, was a great spot. It was 400 square feet when I was looking in the details of it. So her coming from Alabama, I'm like, man, I don't want her feeling claustrophobic. A lot of these hotels in New York aren't really accommodating, and like in a lot of other states. So using my noggin, I said, hey, I'm gonna get her an Airbnb with a pool, had the whole house, had a pool where she could be sectioned off to herself. But it was looked at as like, okay, because I said I played in the NBA, that I'm supposed to put, like, if I was supposed to put this 5-star, 6-star hotel, and it was like, yo, like I told you, we was coming here as a friend. I wasn't, I was just trying to show you a good time. It wasn't being cheap. I wasn't by me doing an Airbnb. It
Yeah.
wasn't like I was not thinking about her safety. I have a daughter. I have mothers.
Okay.
I booked them Airbnbs, shared flight.
Okay.
When you're
All right.
sharing properties, like I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah. All right. So another thing I wanted to say as well, yeah, is that we have a lot of things going on in our community, as
Okay.
black people that we are trying to sort out. Now, we need to all be together. We can't be trying to make situations worse and saying all this and that. We need to find a way to build love, build positivity in our community, right? What you said right there about, oh, black women this, black women that, was unacceptable.
I take accountability for that.
Okay. All right. So, Savina, tell us, how did you feel after that whole catch up?
I don't feel like it was thorough and honest. Because he keeps indicating, for one, that I mentioned his finances. I never mentioned his finances. I never mentioned his finances. When we had that conversation during the course of those 2 days, he originally, like I stated previously, he stated that he was looking at a loft. Okay. He come back and he tells me that a loft was booked. Okay. I looked at the pricing of a loft a night. It was 137 a night. So in my head, naturally, if that hotel is 137 a night, I'm sure that others in that area or whatnot are running around along the same price. Okay. The next morning, it wasn't until Friday that he proposed this whole I got an Airbnb. I'm like, okay, we didn't discuss an Airbnb. What's the location? You could, I mean, if
The
you,
house in
one
Puerto
thing I
Rico.
know about an Airbnb is once you book it, they send you confirmation and address. You can't send me what you haven't
I
booked.
was waiting
You
for the
can't send
confirmation.
a confirmation if you don't have it. So right there, that kind of let me know everything that I needed to know. And then for you to just instantly jump on how a white woman would feel, I'm a black woman. I can never state how a white woman feels. I don't walk in her shoes.
At
I'm
the end of the
okay
day,
without
guys,
walking in
any like I
one's
said
That,
shoes.
before, I said as well,
that's fair.
any race would
That's
feel
fair.
Any woman would
unsafe.
be, concerned about her
I've
Right.
safety.
done it. I've
Even, I
never. I've
mean,
never had
I
any
just
race.
felt
I
like a
haven't had that
person
issue.
was treating
Not
Derek. I
true.
allowed you to talk. I've allowed you to talk. I feel
No, I
like
wasn't talking to you. It's
I
all right,
was
Savine. I'm
never
sorry.
really included. I was never really included in his decisions for my travel. It was more so a thing of if you're not paying for it, shut up. You don't have no fight in this if you're not paying for it or whatnot. I was always taught, and I can't attest for others, but if a man invites you or anybody for that reason, anybody invites you out, it's generally their responsibility to take care. So if I had, told Derek, come here, I got you. I would have laid everything out for Derek. When Derek told me to come to Jersey, Derek, he made it seem like, oh, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna have that. I never said, put me in the Ritz Carlton or anything. My only thing was put me somewhere safe and put me somewhere nice. Nice can be 4 stars. Holiday Inn Express has 4.3 stars. You could have done that. But the thing with him was he began attaching monetary value to locations. And then for you to tell me, well, I'm not going to be driving back and forth to come pick you up, you're going to have to Uber. It became a matter to me as if I was a burden on somebody. You didn't present uh, this date as
So,
a friend meeting with a friend. That's not how it was
Sabina,
presented to me.
Savannah.
All right. So obviously we all heard about the JBL speaker. Now I'm pretty sure JBL might reach out to you, Derek,
Okay.
um, for sponsorships or something. Um, I mean, let's be honest, right? If you're on a date and you're playing your own music, it's kind of like there's music already playing. You know, it should be
It wasn't. We was outside. We wasn't. Music wasn't already playing. Is it music just playing outside the moment we start walking in the hot ass desert? Yeah, I was outside. It was just something friendly. I wasn't taking it like this was our first date. I was really just trying to again be my natural self. She was getting to know me. I was getting to know her. As an ex athlete, spending a lot of times in the gym. I just got done out of the hotel gym that I was in, and she told me she was downstairs in the lobby. So I didn't run upstairs to go put my speaker away.
okay.
I carried the speaker with me, and I just like I'm from Jersey. We like the vibe. We dance. So it's like that didn't mix with her. That didn't match. From there, she could have told me that was the first day
Mm,
she told me about it when we was here on live. Like she didn't mention that any times I called her about like, yo, how did you feel about the day? Like that was the first time I've ever heard about this. Just like in the show, I said, what do you have for me in Alabama? So I asked her, I wanted to go to Alabama. I've never been to Alabama. She mentioned about coming to New Jersey. I wanted to go to Alabama.
okay. All right. Cool. Well, I mean, it's clear that it didn't work out between you two. So
Can I say something, please?
you're gone.
I just want to apologize to anybody that got offended by me opening up a group chat, man. Even if y'all don't accept my apology, man, I apologize for that. It wasn't a good idea. It wasn't a good idea at all.
Um, I heard about the group chat from Jody and Derek. So I wasn't really on it as much because I've been working, taking care of my responsibility and stuff like that. So I only came on there once in a while. So I was playing a lot of catch up because they was telling me a lot was going on. So I was like, okay, okay. And then it was time that I vibe with the fellas. But to make matters short, the group chat was created just for the guys, for the bros. And it was supposed to be just for the bros only. And then later on, I was told that, someone added the females in, which was gonna kind of mess it up, being as though everything that a lot of the guys was saying in the group chat was supposed to be for the guys only. So if some of the girls come in and they see some of these things, they might not agree with what was said or typed or whatever the case was.
Simon.
So
Simon, let me stop you there, brother. Yeah. So you're saying that the stuff that you guys were saying in the group chat was appropriate?
to be honest with you, a lot of the things that was said, I didn't read everything. I only read like probably one thing, but from my opinion, a lot of the things that was said in there, it wasn't appropriate, and it wasn't. I mean, for us guys, it was for us guys our conversation. But
Okay.
if a, if the f-
The answer
it,
is
it
no.
wasn't it wasn't
Yeah. The
appropriate.
answer is simple. It's just it's no. It's not. It was not
Yeah.
appropriate. Now I saw some of the messages, and I can say that. Come on, guys. Come on. Yasim, you did nothing wrong because if you didn't add some of these women, then Savina wouldn't have known what Derek really thought about her.
True.
And when you are getting to know someone, you're speaking about the person that you're getting to know like that with a bunch of people that you don't know, with a bunch of people that didn't match. You matched, Derek. What are you doing in a group chat with a bunch of people that did not
So
match?
so go back.
What are you doing in a group chat with a bunch of
Like
people
you said, a bunch of
who
bunch of
are
fellas. Jody
single?
Jody
So
was
I
in there.
guess my question
Jody
to you
matched.
is, Derek, right? I guess my question to you is that
Okay.
did you want the entertainment?
No, if you go back and read the things, anytime the guys were writing the message in there, I would actually post a Black History stuff. I was only posting positive. So for us to highlight maybe the one thing I said, you can go back and rewrite it. And even now, we go in the group message right now. We could pull up the group message right now. It's Black History facts. It's not the same immature stuff. Like I said, I speak to kids. I'm
Okay,
talking about character. So
yeah.
it wasn't. We're not gonna go in here and be like, "Yo, Derek said this thing about this girl that was mentioned on another group chat. Not his character." We're not gonna do that.
If all you were saying is that You're just here posting Black History quotes. Well, how did I know
Oh,
about
I
you
mean,
saying if I didn't
I
step
did.
up,
Me,
you
we
were going
talked
to
about this.
request to go back on the show?
The producer, and I talked about this. He called behind the
How
scenes. He
did
said,
I
"Hey, has
know
Sabina
that?
been reaching
How
out to
did
you? Are
I
you
keep
reaching out to
knowing?
Sabina?
She'd
This
already
is part of
said
the
it.
show." He's like, "Yo, is she reciprocating to what you're reaching out to?" I was like, "I'm reaching out to her. She seems very busy."
Hey, hey,
She
hey,
says she seems very busy. Whenever
This was
I'm
around
telling the
the
group past
fifth.
on whatever is
This was
happening. It's like,
around the
yo,
fifth,
it's
Derek.
not. We weren't communicating like that.
Okay,
hey, Derek.
Simon. Let's let Simon
And it was
speak
if
now.
she wasn't communicating, I'm
Derek,
asking to
brother,
You
go on
can
brother,
that
run it
show.
by
brother,
me. You
brother.
can't run it
Everyone is
on me.
talking. You have this is not,
Oh,
everybody yelling at the same time. That's not what it's about. You know, everyone is gonna speak. When it's time for you to speak, you will speak. Simon wants to say something.
Derek, this from me to you,
okay.
man to man, brother to brother. Now, what was said in the group chat, it wasn't appropriate. I'm gonna just put it like that. Keep it honest. So, honestly,
Okay.
you're older than me. In this situation, a lot of things that was said, she has screenshots and
Okay.
she has evidence. My best advice towards you for the situation, like, just try not to go back and forth. Like, if I was in your shoes, I'd just be like, you know what was said was already said. I apologize, as a man, point blank, period. Hope you could accept my apology. And going forward, the fact that it didn't work out between y'all, that's that, and just keep it pushing. But if you argue back and forth, it looks bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just telling you as a brother, as a friend, as whatever you take me as. You see what I'm saying? Truth be told,
Appreciate that.
so we could just move past it because I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie, I haven't read everything that was in the group chat. I was only
But
in
you're
the
saying
group
it's all
chat.
inappropriate. You didn't read everything, but you're saying it's
No,
all
no, I
inappropriate.
didn't. No, I didn't read everything, but some of the things that I read, that I've
From me.
seen,
From
you see what
me.
I'm saying? I'm not gonna point the
But
finger at.
you're directing it at me.
Yes,
You're saying my
yes.
character. You're directing it at me.
Some of the things that was said in general from you, from everybody, it wasn't something that.
Outside of the knees quote, what did I say?
No, but that's my whole point, Derek.
Okay.
Whatever that you
I'm asking
Let
from
said,
me
brother to
let me
brother.
let
I'm
me
asking
just,
from
jump let
just,
brother
me
to
jump
brother.
in.
I'm
Let me
asking from
jump
man
in
to
here.
man.
Let me jump
just.
in here. Let me jump in here, guys. Derek,
Yeah.
it's simple. You take accountability, you move
I'm
on.
taking accountability. That's it.
Yeah, when you're going back and forth with a woman, if you're a man and you're going back and forth with a woman, people will not take you seriously.
I
End of.
understand been the standard of men don't argue with
Especially
women.
especially if it's online being watched by millions of people. So it is what
I'm
it
not
is.
worried about none of their I get
If
it.
you're not worried, but the problem is that we are trying to have a conversation.
Correct.
Civilized. We're trying to be calm and have a conversation. You
And I'm
keep
not worried about that.
jumping in. So let's just talk as adults, and
Raise
then
my
we
hand.
keep moving. All right. So I want to actually go on to Simon now. Right. I know you said a few things just now. I heard some stories. I want Joy to speak.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and laugh, honey. Um, so I didn't match with anybody, obviously. After the show aired, Simon had reached out to me in my inbox on Instagram. We chatted back and forth, exchanged numbers. And in the conversations that we were having, he did tell me that the show had reached out to him to come back on, just different things like that. I already had a trip planned to go to New York. And I believe like he was gonna try to like come to New York so we can do dinner or something, but like that never happened. Anyway, fast forward to one night. I think it was like a Friday night. I got to New York on like a Thursday. Friday night or evening. I don't know if he intentionally called me or if he like pocket dialed me, but he left a message on my voicemail. And I'm a because I have to because Simon, I don't wanna mix up your words and I don't wanna leave nothing out.
That's what I'm talking about
So
character.
Derek, this
Sorry.
is not your conversation, brother.
so in the message that Simon left on my voicemail unintentionally, he talked about his popularity being sky high since the episode had aired. how he has been setting up sex appointments every weekend since the episode has aired. He flew someone out from North Carolina to turn around and went to go see somebody else in Pennsylvania. He apparently does this on a regular. I don't know what this is, but maybe he can elaborate on that. But he just said, but now he's long distance with me. So yeah. He's also waiting to get his passport because he has 3 women over in Africa. There's one in Ghana, one in Nigeria, one in Kenya. Okay. And then with these women, apparently, like they're on FaceTime and he's like asking them to show him something. And yeah,
Sorry.
that's what happened on my voicemail. After that,
Sorry, bro.
I called Simon and I told him, do not contact me anymore. Simon proceeds to tell me it was a joke and his coworker dared him to do that. And here's my thing, okay? You don't know me to call me and even leave me a message like that, because if you did, you would have knew I was the wrong person to call. I'm pretty sure you have other people in your contact list that have been in there for years. And on top of that, you're almost 40. I don't know. I don't know anybody our age that still plays those type of games. So yeah, it was a dub right after that.
Joy, you know why that sounds so familiar? Because my friend Mallory, she has voicemails from where Simon is calling her on Instagram. You know, miss me with that,
Oh,
Simon,
Priya, get out
on
of here.
Instagram, my best
This is
friend. You know, all the messages that you're sending her at 1, 2, or
Don't
3 o'clock
lie,
in the
yo. Don't.
morning, asking her what she's doing, and that y'all should hang out and tell them what kind of guy you
Don't
are and what
apply.
you can do and this and that, you know. So I guess he likes to
Hold
leave
yeah.
on. Hold on. Can
messages,
we jump on this
voicemails
too?
at
Like this is what
1,
I'm
2,
talking about,
three
the
o'clock
culture
in the
too.
morning.
You
Can
just
I?
was
Mm-hmm.
I'm
trying to
sorry.
jump
Can
down my
I?
Mm-hmm.
throat. It's crazy.
No, I guess I'm just so curious that if all of this is going on with Simon and all these other women, why I was labeled as Simon's special friend. Like, I guess I'm trying to figure that part out.
Yeah.
No, Derek wanted you.
I was
You were
never
Derek's.
anybody's
You
No,
friend.
no,
were
no, 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 no.
Derek's person first, but then you moved over to Simon. Derek's feelings were hurt when he saw you in the nightclub or wherever y'all went that night, booed up with
Gotcha.
Simon. That came from the group chat.
Okay, so Simon, all this brotherly advice you're giving to Derek, all this.
He's older than me. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to attack the character. Like, come on, make it make sense, yo. We gonna jump down my throat, but go ahead. We gonna like, come on.
It ain't high
The brother
character.
I'm talking about, make it make
The fact
sense.
that the fact that you even think it's funny now is just crazy to me. Like there's nothing
Crazy
about
work.
So I guess, Simon, you're giving all this advice, you're saying all these great things, but this is what you do. This is who you are. When I told my assistant to call you to come back on the show, I was like, no, he's a good guy. You know, he's very calm. He presents himself well. Then I started hearing the stories about you, not just from one person, from 2 people, from 3 people. I started saying, wait, Simon, what is going on? Do you want to explain to the world what is going on?
Okay. I didn't want to interrupt anybody. That's why I was laughing and just stay quiet. So basically, all right, I don't even know I'm gonna start from Joy. Basically, yes, I did hit Joy up in her inbox and we started chatting, start getting to know each other a little bit, better and stuff like that. To go straight to the point, I was at work. I used to be in a sorority, fraternity, frat brothers type of stuff. So we get older, but we still a kid at heart because we still play, me and my friends and stuff like that. So they seen the show. So a lot of people at the job, a lot of them were saying, yeah, we seen you and this, and a lot of people was cracking jokes. They were saying all different type of things. But I got specific friends that play, and some of them are older than me. So as we was talking, and she thought I probably pocket dial, but I didn't pocket dial. All of these things was said on a level of my friend, they play to the max. So they dared me to do certain things and stuff like that, in which I really didn't want to do. But because we're in the little frat brother sorority type stuff, I had to do
Simon,
it
I want to
because
stop you right there because I want to call it out straight away.
Please
I
do.
heard the conversation. That did not sound like a dare that you did. Simon, you were laughing because you know you got caught. Simple. Like, just don't make it. Don't make up all these things
You
and
caught.
say no, this and that. Because at the end of the day, right? If you have women in Africa, just say it.
I say something?
They shut up, boy.
You
Also,
see, you see, when you're laughing like this, it's basically telling me that the stuff is true, and I'm trying to understand why you came on the show when you have all of this going on.
also the next day, or it might have even been like in the wee hours of the morning. After I told him not to call me anymore, he sent me like a little YouTube short, like that somebody created of me with just a whole bunch of negative stuff to say, like of me on the show. So I like, what was that about?
the reason why I sent that because it was something that you spoke on, and I was just alerting you that this is my first time actually seeing what you said. I never seen because you said everybody kept saying the tooth fairy thing, and I was like, huh, I never seen that because a lot of the stuff that was being posted, I wasn't seeing it. Sometimes people would send it to me, and when they send it to me, I'm like, oh, I didn't see that because as my day going forward, I don't be on social media as much as some other people. I only be on there sometimes. So when I seen it, that's why I sent it to you. I didn't send it to you for bad intent. I just sent it to you just to give you a heads
But
up that
Simon,
what you was.
I had already told you don't contact me, so I wouldn't care what the intent was.
No, I understand, but that's why I did it just to answer your question. That's
Okay,
why I did it. It
and when
wasn't
I
it
when
wasn't for
when
anything
I when
negative.
I heard that recording, it sounded like you pocket dialed her, and then there was a voicemail, and then you just didn't realize. That's what it sounded like, and I heard everything that you said, right? And I was very appalled. I was like, "What? This is Simon?" But this is the thing, right, Simon? You want to be a player, but do you know how to play? If you don't know how to play, do not play. And I will say this as well, right, guys? Stop trying to play a game that you don't know how to play. And this goes to everyone that's watching. Everybody needs to have self discipline, men and women. Men, have discipline within yourself to only be for one woman. Women, have discipline in yourself to only be for one man. If a lot of man, if a lot of men are coming up to you and you're entertaining them, then you might as well stay single because you do not have discipline within yourself to carry yourself a certain way that your man wants you to carry yourself like. Men, if you keep looking at women everywhere, you keep saying, I get all these women, this, and that, blah, 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 blah. That's not a flex. It is not a flex. It's simply, it's ridiculous because it gets old. You're getting older and you keep on. What are you teaching the younger generation, guys?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, I know it didn't sound like it was a joke or a game, but it actually was. A lot of the stuff it had a lot of truth to it. Yes, there are females that like me, that's from Africa, that's from my area, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I knew that the phone was still on. It wasn't no pocket that I knew exactly what was going on. I just couldn't
If you just said
reveal.
that there was some truth to it, bro, we are gonna make this. We're gonna basically think that it's not a dare. Because you said that
No,
there's some truth in some of the stuff that you said. So that means, do you have multiple women in Africa? Is that
I have.
truth? Is that
Do
truthful?
I have multiple women in Africa that I'm dating? No. I have females in Africa that hit me up and said that they like me, how I conduct myself, and that I'm
Okay.
chatting with, that I'm getting to know. But multiple in that type of way, no. And this is what I was trying to explain to her. I said, after the show, my popularity went sky high in every type of way. But do I have any female that I'm dating on a serious level? No, I don't. I
I
have
want to ask.
friends.
Hey,
Yeah, go on,
can I ask a
Yassine.
question?
Yassine, go on.
Hey Simon, brother to brother, and I'm a little older than you. They got the evidence, bro. As long as you
Okay.
keep fighting, as long as you keep
You was
fighting,
just telling me this.
you can't just keep going back and
Submit.
forth with this, man.
No, I'm just
You
explaining.
got the
No, no.
no. And then on top of that, hold on, let me finish. Let me land this plane real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Then on top of that, you said you don't be on the internet like that. But the minute they did the interview with them two yesterday, you screen recorded the part of the group chat and put it on your page. I commented
You
on
said
it.
a part of the the part of the group chat.
When they mentioned the group chat, you took
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
one
yeah,
little
yeah.
snippet and put it on your page yesterday.
That's the thing. When I yesterday on my way to work, I said, let me go on and see what's going on because I know they was gonna do the
You know where the group chat come from,
no
so you just
no 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 no
no,
no,
like
no. What I'm trying to say to you, I don't be on social media as much as pop. When I get on, I be on for a long time for that specific day. So prior to I think it was yesterday. Prior to yesterday, I wasn't on like going back. That's why most of the time when y'all was on a group chat, I wasn't on. But at the end of the day, I'm not denying what was said. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of the things that was being said is it got a lot of truth to it. Yes, my popularity went up. A lot of females have hit me up. They want to date me. They want to do different type of things. Yes, but the thing is, my friend who I wish it was on video chat so y'all could see, but he was in the back scene and he dared me to do that. And when I wanted to hang up the phone, he said, "Nah, don't
At
do it."
your age, brother,
At your
you
Understand
age.
me?
At your big age.
It's I get
you
that.
accepted there, and then
Yes, I
and
did.
then now we're speaking about it. You're trying to defend yourself about a
Yes, I
dare that you
accepted.
should never have done.
Yes, I should have
If
never
it was
did.
a dare,
Yes, it was, but I should have never did it. And that's why I told her, I said, if I didn't tell you, but I'm gonna tell you right now. I apologize for the dare. It wasn't what you thought it was, but at the end of the day, I apologize and stuff like that.
I
And
mean, it's exactly what you said before. You just apologize and we move on. Okay,
yes,
that's okay.
can I can I can I show this book without the author or nothing, just the title real quick?
Let's see the book.
This thing right here is what's missing.
Okay,
accountability.
I wanna
Accountability.
ask Jasmine, right? What do you think of all of this? Because obviously your name did get brought up in the conversation with Derek and Savannah. When you
Yeah.
actually saw that catch up, how did you feel?
I was definitely a little thrown off. Definitely by, like I said, the whole like special friend comment. Like Simon and I are not special friends. Did we hang out after the episode? Yes, but that's not my special friend. Like he sounds like he's everybody else's special friend, not mine. Um, but um, yeah, it definitely threw me off a little bit because, to be honest, I haven't spoken to anybody from the show since I left Arizona. So, or maybe the day after I left Arizona. So it was definitely surprising to me. Um, Honestly, this whole group chat thing is very interesting to hear. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, you would think that at some point, at some age, like the maturity would just get there, but I guess not. Um, so that's what I think about it. It's very
Okay.
silly. It's very childish.
Right.
It's very immature, in my opinion.
You're right.
You're going there, Derek.
So for me, I felt like when I told Savina, I was trying to be accountable, mature. I don't know if Savina's thing is reconnecting.
No, she can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I had told Savina literally before we started that next recording, I had started talking to Jasmine about the little children situation, you know? And I remember you telling me, like, hey, stop talking over there. Like, let's get back to recording, before you started shooting again. And so I told Jasmine, like, hey, after the show, we'll catch up or whatever. Like, we'll still chop it up or whatever. So when I matched with Savina, out of respect for Savina and matching with Savina and what you talked about with the show, as much as I was like, damn, I was attracted to Savina and I wasn't able to finish our conversation. I mean, I was attracted to Jasmine, but I wasn't able to finish the conversation. I was respecting Savina and I didn't reach out to Jasmine. I didn't even look at Jasmine after I connected with Savina, respectfully. You know what I mean? So there was a certain maturity level there for me where it was like I wasn't reaching out to a bunch of people. I wasn't trying to add a bunch of people. So like that's why I was the back and forth of my character was like, yo, I didn't even I told Savina like, hey, there was another girl I was actually attracted to that I didn't even follow up with, and she was outside after that. Savina didn't come out with the rest of the girls that came out that night. And so yeah, when Jasmine was out, I was like, damn, I was like, and I don't need to get into all that. That's between them. But it was everything that I've been trying to do has just been genuine. And so that's why I wasn't trying to argue with any ladies. I apologize, black women, for inappropriate anything with any of their social media or the show. It's totally not my intentions. Um and so like I said, I take accountability for the part I played in that situation.
Okay, you're going, Simon.
Okay, so we putting everything on the table. So we might as well put it out there. So now, as far as what Jasmine says, she hasn't spoken to anybody since she left Phoenix. That's not true. So I'm a rewind it a little bit. After the show, we took pictures. Me and Jasmine took pictures. You talked to me and her as far as you wanted for me and her to match, and you thought it was gonna happen, but it didn't. And I said because of her deal breaker, I have a 4-year-old. Going forward, you said if I would like to come back, and I said no problem. X, Y, and Z, cool. At the end of the day, me and Jasmine, we went. Me, her sister, and my boy. We went to the spot. They rode with us. We went there. We had a great time. We held hands and everything. Like I said, we was in a relationship. We had a good conversation. Derek, Jody, and the other guys came. I had to help Jody out because he didn't have an ID. So I get him my ID because we somewhat, I don't know, somewhat favor each other. I don't know how, but I said the ID thing gonna work. So he got in. Jasmine was still upset because Jody said the comment about he gonna dunk her in the pool, in the jacuzzi, and then take her to the Waffle House so he can get the wake up off her and see how she really looked under stuff like that. She was upset about that. And I told her, don't worry about that. He don't mean no harm. He just talking. And at the end of the day, we had a good time. We was at the table. We was kissing, you know, tongue kissing the whole 9 yards. Um, Her sister said she wanted to leave, and I said it's not an issue. If your sister want to leave, I'm not gonna sit here and allow your sister to leave by herself. So I told Jasmine, basically, after if your sister leaving, we all gonna go. I'm gonna get a room in your hotel, and after you and your sister get situated, you could come where I'm at and stuff like that. She agreed with it. When we got in the car, 5, 10 minutes later, she changed her mind. If it's meant to be, it'll be. But for us not to spend the night, me being the guy I am, no problem. So when we got to the hotel, we went. I walked her and her sister upstairs as a gentleman. We went upstairs, holding hands. Like I said, we're together, quote unquote. When we went upstairs, her sister went in a room. Me and her was talking. We kissed a little bit more. And she had told me prior to us coming to the hotel that her sister said that if her sister leave, will she bring me in the room, in their room? So it had me thinking, but I just left my thought where it was at. After I left, me and my boy, we still was in contact. When she went back home, no, we still was in contact. She sent me a picture of how she looked when she put on a nice outfit, and it was a nice, I believe it was a nice dress, very colorful and looked nice on her. So after that, when she went home, we chat and I said, show me your spot, show me where you stay at, the scenery, because I'm into that. I like beautiful scenery, different areas, especially if I haven't been there. So I said, let me see how you living. So she showed me a little bit of her area where she lived, the inside of her apartment, and she didn't show me her room. But then later on, she showed me her room. So me and her had a situation where I believe this is where things kind of like ended its course, which was I was on the phone with her and I was on my way to my mother's house because I told her I'm African and I'm the only child from my mother. I'm not a mama's boy or anything like that. But at the end of the day, when your mother cook, I'm a big fan of my mother cooking. So I said I'm just stopping by my mother's house to get some of her food so I could take it to work. You know, mama cook best. So when I went there, I said I was on a FaceTime with her. I said, "You want to say hi?" Because I'm real spontaneous. I don't play by everybody else's rule. I just go with the flow. She said, "Sure, why not?" But she had a feeling I was going to do that. So this is where things went left. So when I put her on the phone, my mother, being who she is, she said the wildest stuff, which was crazy. She said, "Didn't you introduce me to her before?" I said, "No, I never introduced you to her before." So I'm looking at my mother like, you okay? But knowing my mother, she at the old stage. She's an elderly lady, you know. And at the end of the day, when she said that, I said to myself, my mom is tripping, because I've never introduced you to her before. She said, "You sure?" I'm like, "I never did." So since that situation, when I try to contact Jasmine, Jasmine never answered the phone. I text her, I called her in between time, because I try not to blow her phone up with texts and calls and stuff like that. So I waited for a while. Her birthday came, which was on the 16th. I said I'm gonna hit her up on her birthday just to wish her happy birthday. Being the kind of guy I am, I remembered, and I sent her a birthday text. She never responded, so I said, you know what? If she never responded on something positive, I guess that's it. And she made her decision, and I left it alone. So for her
Okay.
to say that she hasn't been in contact with anybody since the show, that's not true, Jasmine.
Okay, first of all, I said I haven't been in contact with anybody. So if I could just have a quick rebuttal, because I don't even need to, you clearly just want so much like attention or something. Clearly, that's why you're in the YouTube comments. But I said I haven't spoken to anybody maybe since the show or a couple days after the show, sweetheart, and I have not spoken to you since a couple days after the show. Um, the whole hanging out, yes, we absolutely did hang out after the show. The we were together, like again, I think it was a moment. We had some type of connection over just bonding over being on the show together. Um, and that's what it was. Like it was no, we were together. Like I was
Do
never a
we?
special friend to Simon. Um, let's just be clear. Um, I never agreed to. You actually asked to come or get a hotel at or get a room at the hotel that I was at. I said no. You said, "Do you want to get do you want me to get a hotel where I'm at and you can stay with me?" My sister was with me. My sister was never leaving and you were never coming into my hotel. So you even trying to put that narrative out there is a joke to me. Like literally, cuz don't disrespect me as a woman cuz you coming to my hotel was never an option, sweetheart. Um, then what else was it? I don't even know. Those were the two main points, but you were not coming to my house,
Was
or
we
to my
kissing?
hotel. We did
Was
kiss. I don't have to, I'm
so
not
that
denying that, but we were not
that's
together.
not to be rude, not to cut you off. This is why I posted special friend. That's the reason why I put special friend because we had an intimate moment in which Derek is a witness because he's seen how he was and stuff like that. That's why I
Okay.
posted it. It ain't
I got
nothing negative towards you, but
No, it
I
is
just like to
negative towards
speak
me
my
because you
truth.
just, like I said, you just put out a narrative as if I were and I was inviting you and you tried to invite yourself to get a room at my hotel. Like I never asked you, I never suggested it in any way, shape, or form. Like so I genuinely don't appreciate that. Number one, you making a face. Like, am I saying something that's incorrect?
Yes.
You were the one that insinuated that, not me, sweetheart. Like you're so confused.
Can I say something, please?
Go
I
ahead.
I just said it in the thing that I said. I said I made a suggestion that I would get a room in your spot, and you agreed. I said
I
after
never
you.
agreed to that, Simon.
Okay. Joy, did
Okay.
you want to say something, Joy?
yeah, because I just okay. So Simon, if you did feel like Jasmine was your special friend, why are you reaching out to other girls from the show or friends that came with contestants from the show? Like that doesn't really.
Let me answer that too.
Okay.
Now, yeah, her name's Seven. That, yeah, your friend was the. Say it again.
Savannah.
Yeah, your friend was the one that hit me up first. She hit me up on Instagram because I told my boy, I said, I remember this girl because all the girls that Jasmine's sister and the rest of the girls that came with y'all, I was the one, Derek and the other guys can tell you. I spoke to everybody. I said, "How you doing? How you doing?" And I spoke to all of y'all friends. And after I spoke to them, I just sat down. And then I said to myself, when we left the show, your friend hit me up. And when she hit me up, I said, "Hold on, this girl look familiar." I might forget names, but I don't forget faces. So when she hit me up, I hit her back up and said, wasn't you backstage for your friend or your sister or something like that?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "I knew that was you." And me and her was just being friends. I never try to talk to your sister in that type of way. I just asked her about I asked her about you and Derek. I asked her about you and Derek and stuff like that. And me and her got cool and stuff like that. And we was just, exchanging information and just talk about different things. But I never told her that we're gonna date and this and that. And it wasn't like that, Joy. I never try to get with nobody's friends and nothing like that.
Now you were in the
Oh, he was
inbox talking to
in my
yourself.
text talking to himself as well. So if I knew we were sending receipts to BM, I would have sent them ahead of time.
He said that my friend initiated a conversation with him. She followed him, of course, because IG names are visible. He
Yes.
came in. I have the screenshots because she sent them to me. He came in with all this stuff, telling about himself, what kind of work he does, where he work at, calling her on
Mm.
Instagram. She's not answering the phone. Sending paragraphs. See, the thing about Simon is Simon doesn't write in sentences. He writes dialogue. He writes paragraphs or whatnot. He's like he tries to do this whole little persuasion of thing on why to pick him. Like he's one of those pick me kind of guys or whatnot. But what I'm trying to understand, BM, is when in the group chat, when Derek said that that was his person, I'm trying to understand who was his Jersey brother that he said told him that with Jasmine it's a no go. I'm trying to understand what the no go meant.
Okay, so I'm gonna conclude this whole mini reunion here. I want to conclude it. The conclusion is, guys, please have better decision making. Ladies, please. Moving on, make better decisions. If you feel like the person you're talking to doesn't align with you, do not do things with this person that you're gonna regret later on. And that's the truth. You know, this is not pop the balloon or find friends. You're not here to make friends, because the friends you make, this is what happens. These are the friends that you don't want to make. Look at what's happening, right? Simon, you're nodding your head. Your name came up everywhere. But you also need to have better decision making skills. Like, everybody needs to learn how to make better decisions in life, because the decision that you make as an adult makes who you are. You understand? Like, I made this decision to do all of this, and this is what makes me who I am right now. You know, if you decide to go with a man that you've just met, you don't know him, you decide to hang out with that person and stuff happens, you made that decision. Why don't you think, oh, you know what? Let me actually get to know this person first. Let me actually take it slow. Let me not just go, all in. Take your time. I want to end it off with all of this group chats and all that. Guys, you're older. You can't be doing all this. At what age do you decide to get serious? At what age? At what age? These younger generations are looking at you like, damn, like, if that's what they're doing, what we're doing is not that bad. Because this here is more messy than some of the stories we hear from the younger generation.
Lot of unhealed trauma.
No, Derek, we don't want to get into that right now. So to end it off, do you not have anything final to say before we leave? Jasmine, you can start.
Sure. I just was gonna say, like I said, I think I thought that even though yes, it is pop the balloon or find love, I decided to hang out with a person outside of the show, and it got me nowhere, and that is fine. But I don't appreciate being lied on. But I guess people are gonna do what they're gonna do at the end of the day. But that's just
Okay.
what it is. I still appreciated being on the show. It was definitely a fun experience.
Yeah, and we actually spoke about bringing you back, and I actually want everybody in the comments to comment down below who you want me to bring back on the show from this reunion. Um, let's have a Savannah.
I just want to say I enjoyed this entire experience. What I did learn from this experience is, people will eventually show whom they are. People will portray and wear many hats, but I thank God for the gift of discernment that He's blessed me with to allow me to see people's exterior and interior. So,
Okay. And Joy?
Um, I just had a good time. I thought it was a good experience for me, even though I didn't match with anyone. I'm glad I did not match because it just kind of seems like the quality of the men, honestly, just were not there. As far as maturity wise, it has nothing to do with y'all have going on personally. And yeah, I met some good women as well.
Okay. And Simon?
Um, truth be told, it was a good experience, and thank you once again for bringing me on your platform, and I really appreciate it. I haven't given up on love. Yes, I'm a friendly person. I like to be real. I like to be open. I like to be honest. And what it seemed like, it's not what it seemed like. From what I believe, a lot of females on the show are very delusional. They say one thing, but then after the show, they do another thing totally different. Because if you popped on me, but you're kicking it with me after the show, why did you pop? It don't make sense. So I just leave that question mark right there. But other than that, I don't have no bad blood with anybody. It's all love, all laughter, and I respect everybody. It's not that serious. I don't have no hate in my heart for anybody. So whether anybody think good or bad of me, I leave it to God. Other than that, just everybody stay blessed and humble, and I just hope everything works out for everybody.
Okay. Derek?
I had a great time. I got to meet somebody new. I got to learn some new things. Um, again, like I said, I wish I was able to take a higher road on, how I responded to Zavina, because again, I really didn't like that interaction publicly. I felt Savina's a great woman. I think she has a lot of character. I think she has a lot of great things going on for herself. So um, I'm just a little disappointed in myself that next time she mentions my name, that maybe she doesn't align with, she's not mentioning me in the best of terms. So going forward, hopefully, she is open and being friends at a distance. Like it doesn't have to be too, I would love to, continue to walk with character and show better character. And even though we didn't hit it off the way it was, I thought was possible. I really was just trying to respect her, and I was really trying to show the most of respect.
Okay. And Yasim?
Yes, sir. Two things, and I'm gonna keep it brief. One is I'm a fan of the show, and I don't even like how I represented myself because I wasn't even able to show my personality due to jet lag and bad decisions early that morning. And two, in closing, if you're a friend of everybody, you're an enemy of yourself.
Right. This is not pop the balloon and find friends. Guys, Seriously, when you come on the show, please think about why you're coming on the show. You want to meet with somebody, connect with somebody, and then build. Don't think of the show as like I'm coming out there to go and join group chats. Get involved in messy situations and then regret it. That is not what the show is about. But thank you guys for coming on. Comment down below who you want me to bring back on the show. And we will catch you all next time.
No,